Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me and this is the first time you're seeing this face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's gonna be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in, the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my weekly wrap up. This is week 15, April 7th through April 13th, and all my reading shenanigans in between. And yes, I know I haven't posted a weekly wrap up in a while. I've been lazy, but after some talking with my friends, they're like, get off your ass, Jackie, and fucking do it. So Becky, I'm doing it. All right, so if you'd like to find out what has been occupying my time, not that it has been a lot, but occupying my time for the last week, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so week 15, April 7th through April 13th. I only completed one book, but I did make a dent in my audiobook and I did start a new one. So let's start off with the audiobook. I am currently still listening to my reread of Empire the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I am having a really, really good time with it. The audiobook is done by Damian Lynch, but it is a very long audiobook, and I listen to my audiobooks very, very slow. So don't know when I'm probably going to be finishing with it. I think I have like 20 hours left on it because it's like 27 hours. It's a long one. But if you are not familiar with Empire the Vampire, let me just enlighten you. Okay, so this is the first installment in Jay Kristoff's new high dark fantasy series. It was my book of the year in 2022, and I have a full book review of it right here. So you can go take a look and you can see me just gush and brag about this book. I am obsessed with this book. This thing put vampires back on the map for me. Now, it does not follow a vampire. Actually, it follows a silver saint, Gabriel de Leon. Gabriel de Leon is the final silver saint. So we already know that he lost. So it's kind of unique concept because we already know vampires have won and the silver saints who were sent to destroy the vampires have lost. But this is his story, his final story, his final record of a silver saint telling his story to a vampire interpreter and getting it down for the histories. So I think that's really, really cool. It's told in three different time periods in an interview style. And it's a really unique concept. I really, really enjoy it. I got lost in this world. I was obsessed with it for a long time. I'm still obsessed with it. And this version has beautiful drawings. And the second installment has just been released. It released just last month and I already own it. So that is why I'm rereading it in preparation for that new installment, because I want to give it its fair shake, because this book was so good, but there is a lot. There is a lot of world building, there's a lot of setup, there's a lot of everything in this book. So I want to make sure that I'm fresh and I'm good. So when I read for this next time, Empire the Damned, which is the sequel to this book, I will be fresh, I'll be good, and I can give it its fair shake because I want that book to succeed, because I love this book so much. But again, I am loving my reread of it. I'm falling back in love with this world, but it is a long audiobook and I'm slowly making my way through it. So I have made a dent in it, but not a very severe dent for sure. So the book that I completed last week was this guy, The Longing of Lone Wolves by Lana something. Still, fuck, I can't say her goddamn name. All right, I'm just not gonna try. All right, I'm just not. But I finally completed it. This was one of my 12 and 24 books, and it's been on multiple TBRs, and I wanted to read it for quite a long time, and I finally read it. I completed it. Woohoo! Give this bitch a round of applause. She did some shit. Yeah. Yes. We finally fucking did it. And it was not bad. It was not what I really thought it was going to be, but it was not bad. I did enjoy it. I had a good time. So let's talk about it. So this is the first installment to the Season of the Wolf trilogy and the first installment to the Fae Guardian series. The Fae Guardian series encompasses 9 books total, and there are 3 trilogies within it. And the Season of the Wolf is the first trilogy. And to read the whole series, you have to read these trilogies in order. They are a series of interconnected standalones with a overarching plot of all of the series, from what I've been able to discern from just kind of my little bit of research I have, because this is the only installment that I've read. And we do feature an enemies to lovers in this. We have shifter romance, we have some time travel, there is graphic sexual content, and we have a fated mate trope, just to mention a few of the things that are going on in this book. So a brief summary, we feature Clark. Clark is our heroine, and she has become unfrozen. She is unfrozen in another time, much further in the future than our current time, which is where she became frozen in our current time. And she becomes unfrozen and finds herself in a world that has been reclaimed by the Fae. Humans destroyed it, and when the humans were destroyed, the Fae took it back and are slowly trying to rebuild it. So she becomes unfrozen in this kind of frosty area, and she encounters a hunting tribe, and they're basically going to assault her, essentially, is what's going to happen. But she is rescued by our hero, Rush, who's here on the cover. Okay, she's rescued by Rush. And to save her, Rush has to bind himself to her because Rush is cursed and only she can see him. So the hunting party cannot actually see him. They can't feel him, they can't hear him, but she can see him. And so to save her, he must bind himself to her, because by binding himself to her, he can now speak for her. He can physically control her movements. So now they are bound and he has saved her, but he's in awe that this human could see him. Okay. After we have some healing time, we find out that Clark, even in her own time, kind of had like a sixth sense, like a premonition sense. In the Fae time, she'd be considered a seer, and she has a vision that what happened in her time will happen again because those same people have come back, and they need to warn the Fae about it. And that's kind of where our story really kicks off. So what really works in this book for me is the world. I really enjoyed this unique world that humans have destroyed the world and Fae have taken it back and rebuilt it. And there's a little colony of humans, and humans are hated, and the Fae kind of rule with an iron fist. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing a little bit of the reconstruction and how they rebuilt the system. And I liked the politics that were used within it. Very extreme politics. We have a breeding clause in this book. No unauthorized breeding, which is will become prevalent in the book. So it is an important part of it. But I really liked what I got of the political system, of the world building. There's obviously a lot of room to grow, as this is a 9-book series, but what I got, I did enjoy. And it was very intriguing, very unique. We have this thing called the Well, which is kind of their religion. And our main hero, Rush, is a well guardian. He's a Fae guardian, and he was able to hold more elemental properties just based off his natural DNA. Just kind of like somebody who can lift a lot more, who's extremely smart. It's just how their body chemistry makes up. But because they're elite, they go through this training process and become these guardians, which I think is really kind of cool. And what I got of it, I enjoy this. I enjoy this unique concept of this well and this religion, and it involves all these different shifters, which brings me to the next thing that worked, was the magic system. There is a lot of magic utilized in this story, but it's a very unique form. Every shifter, and there's different types of shifters. There's angels, there's owl shifters, there's cats, there's dogs, there's vampires, there's all these different paranormal creatures in this book. And I really enjoyed that they all had their own unique ability, their own unique kind of storyline. And I really enjoyed that because it definitely opens up a lot of avenues for our author to go, which obviously she does, as it's a 9-book series. And it's a 9-book series of 3 trilogies that feature. The first trilogy is wolf shifters, not to be confused with werewolves. That is an insult to these people. A vampire series, and then there is a crow series. And I think the crow series follows like the angel people, the ones with the wings. So I think that's kind of neat. I thought that was really kind of cool the way she broke it up, for sure. And I liked the magic in this. There is this there is a finite amount of magic, but yet it feels like there's not, because they're fae. Their lifespan is extremely long compared to humans. But once you actually start breaking it down, you realize that there is a finite amount of magic. Only certain people have so much magic, and it's all very unique to each person. And I thought that was really kind of cool, especially tying in with this curse that Rush has. This curse is a very magic-oriented curse, and I don't want to spoil it for you because it's kind of a unique element to him as a character. Definitely helps build his character throughout the story. But he is coming towards the end of his curse, even though he is a fae. And he's coming to the end of the curse because he's coming towards the end of his magic. He cannot replenish himself anymore because he cannot be seen and he cannot touch any living thing without getting a disease and sickness. It's very unique. I really liked it. I enjoyed it, had a good time with it, and it was a lot of fun to play around with it for sure. I also really enjoyed the main series plot line that she had a premonition that what happened before is going to happen again. History will repeat itself because essentially people are the same no matter what version they are, or if they're fae or human, they're all kind of jealous, greedy fucking creatures. And I liked that this plot line's gonna be carried through the rest of the series, so there is some kind of continuation through this series. They're not just completely standalones. That's why you have to read these in order of the way that the author has released them in this series, or you have to read them that way to really get that whole story from what I've been able to research. But I do enjoy that she gave us that, because that's one thing with interconnected standalones, is that connecting plot line has to be strong. And I think this one is. I think that has given enough, there's enough that it can span the series itself. We didn't get a lot of it in this book, so we can still continue to build, but we got kind of a very bare bones. And I know that with the amount of intrigue that just this installment had, I know this plot line is going to have a lot of intrigue and in-depth, but it's going to be, I think, a very slow-moving plot line, which is fine for me because it's 9 books. But I do definitely have a good feeling about this overarching plot line from just this one installment. It has piqued my interest, and I definitely want to continue on with it. However, in this installment, there was a lot of stuff that worked, but there's a lot of stuff that didn't work either. This installment gave us a lot of great points, a lot, but I feel like they were just dropped and they needed fleshed out. This magic system, again, 9-book series, I feel like it's going to be built upon, and so I'm trying to, kind of hold myself back from saying this didn't work. But when I'm saying what it needed fleshed out, the actual plot for this story, not the big plot line, I feel like those elements need to be fleshed out, because you are introducing the world in this, you're introducing the magic, so you need to really give me a good solid foundation going into the next book, which I think is a fair thing to say. However, she didn't quite do it. I feel like this book should have been longer, because there wasn't enough time spent with each of the elements that she gave me for a lot of them to stick. I found myself having to go back in this book a few times and trying to remember the magic system, because I only got a very brief note of it, and it wasn't impactful enough when she gave it to me for it to really stick to me. It was just kind of like thrown at you, and I just didn't like that. I really kind of wish this installment would have been longer, so it could have been more fleshed out, for sure. I like the idea of an interconnected standalone within a series. I think that idea is really, really cool. There's enough intrigue in this world building and magic system, though, that I feel like she didn't have to do it that way. Does it work? Yeah, sure. But giving every single couple an HEA at the end of each installment, I don't think she needed to do this. I almost feel like that kind of hindered this story. I almost wish she would have, overlapped our couples more in the stories than she did. We've introduced people that we know are coming up, but I don't know really what's going on. Like, I kind of wish we would have had more overlap. So it wouldn't have been so much interconnected standalones as more of, this is a legit series, you have to read it this way. I think that HEA at the end of each installment is going to hinder the development of some of these characters. But then again, I've only seen the one, and again, I wish this had been longer so I could have had more time with the characters, learn more of their kind of niches and their ins and outs, because what I got of the romance between these two did kind of feel insta because of the length. And that kind of sucked, because when you have a fated mate trope, you don't want it to feel insta. I like, even though fated mates, you know it's fated, it's there, I still like it to be earned and appreciated. And the romance moved a little too fast, because everything moved a little too fast in this book because of this interconnected standalone style that she did with this series. And I think she didn't have to do that. I think she should have just done a whole fucking series, and I think it would have been stellar. But I do understand, I haven't read any of the other installments, so once I read another installment, if I see that okay, no, there was a reason for this, but that's why for this one, I just fucking wanted it longer, guys. Basically, I wanted it fucking longer. I did. I didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough time to really have everything sit and settle with me, to say that I'm done with Rush and Clark. Like, I can move on. Like, I'm not. I want more. And I hope in the next installment that I do get more, but it's not looking like I am based off the way the story ended. Because it all just kind of wrapped up nicely. I'm like, awesome. Cool. You know what I mean? So there's that. And there was an annoying thing in this book. There's a lot of questions with kind of assumed answers without actual concrete evidence that you are correct. At least in this installment. You might get those evidence and those answers in the next installments, but right now, there are questions that I'm pretty sure I know the answer to, because I feel confident that I do, because their story is over, but I don't really actually have any evidence of it. And that's annoying. And one of the big ones is, why can Clark see Rush? I assume it's because she is a seer in their world and she has premonitions, so she has like this other layers. She's also a fated mate. All assumed, but no actual concrete explanatory why she can see and no one else can. I got explanation of why she can make people see him, but not why she herself could see him off the bat. Like, he acknowledges that you could see me and I don't understand it, and then done. Like, really? Also, why can the little fire sprite people that are in his cabin, why can they see him? But nothing else can? Really? Okay. Assumed answers with no evidence, that's fucking annoying. So that bothered me. That bothered me about this installment, and I'm hoping that that's not going to be a thing throughout the rest of the installments. For a spice rating for this, I only gave it 2 chili peppers. I was hoping for a lot more spice on this, because this had great innuendo and great buildup. I was expecting something explosive, something just jaw-dropping, and I got like one actual graphic scene, and the rest of it's all kind of backdoor, behind closed doors type thing, fade to blacks, and I'm like, really? Really? The fuck? Like, don't build this guy up. Don't build this innuendo, chatty back and forth banter, and then not give it to me. That's rude. Like, you gave me fucking potions to make him go all night long, and you had him get pissed off about it because it's insulting that he could not go all night long, and he can, and you don't give me all fucking night long. If you're gonna say it, give it to me. That's just rude and cheap, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That was rude. We did get some minor kink in this. Like, he ties her up with a bandana that she's wearing to hide her ears because she's human. So cool. Like, thank you for using what's kind of around to kind of spice it up a little bit, but okay. Pretty tame. Especially since this book is compared to people, it's said that if you like ACOTAR, you will appreciate this book. I feel like if you liked A Court of Thorns and Roses and then kind of that, if you're looking for the spice from A Court of Thorns and Roses in this, you will be sorely disappointed. If you like the fae aspect of The Court of Thorns and Roses, I think you'll appreciate this because of the different types of fae you're going to see within this series. However, there are a lot of similarities. Their first hookup is in a cabin, just like the first big hookup in Court of Thorns and Roses. Like, really? Between the characters that we actually give a shit about. You know what I mean? I don't want to spoil those books if you guys haven't read them. But, yeah. Like, there's a lot of similarities in the romance department. Other than the romance, I think this one stands on its own, away from Court of Thorns and Roses. So, just kind of keep that in mind if you decide to pick this book up. I did give this a 3-star because I did have a good time. When I was in it, I was engaged, and I wanted to keep reading. I wanted more of this world. I wanted more of these characters, and that is why I plan on continuing with the rest of the series, just to see if she really does give me more of that overarching plot, this overarching world, this storyline, and if she brings back our characters, or if we are actually just a one and done with Rush and Clark. I don't think we are, but we have an HEA in this, so I don't really know how we're gonna work with that. So I'm anxious to read the next installment to see what happens. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it because, I mean, it took me forever to get to this fucking book, but we'll see. And however, this edition is the specialty edition that has some drawings in it, and the imagery is fucking beautiful. You can get this on Kindle, but I don't know if on Kindle you're gonna get the imagery, but I really enjoyed a lot of the images and the graphics in this. I thought they were stunning. Highly recommend this edition. If you decide to pick up the physical copy, drop your money on the hardback so you can get the illustrations. I don't know if they're in the paperbacks, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. Those pictures definitely helped, and there's some stunning artwork, especially if you enjoy that kind of thing. Definitely some unique ones. Very fun. So yeah, 3 stars, 12 and 24 list, and one more down on the 12 and 24 list. If you're not familiar with the 12 and 24 list, the video will be linked here. It's a series of 12 books that I picked at the beginning of the year that I wanted to read this year, and this is one of them, and it's off the list. So congratulations to me. Again, video there if you want to see what other books are on that list. But that is what I completed. I also started The House Witch by Delphmak. Looks like this. I have no fucking idea how to say this name, but this is the name, okay? Delphmak. I feel like something from Lord of the Rings when I say it. But I am reading this for the Black Hat Book Coven, which is a book club that I am a part of over here on YouTube with 3 other lovely ladies, and I'll link them in the down box below. The live show for this will actually be on Becky over at BeckX Reads channel on April 30th, and we've already had some reading sprints for this, and I will link that video here. So if you want to go check it out, you can kind of see some of our thoughts already. Both me and Becky started the book on that reading sprint, and we talked about it for a little bit. But this is the first installment to the House Witch series, and so far where I'm at, it feels like a very cozy mystery with a lot of intrigue, and I'm having a very good time with it. It has some unique magic concepts, as our main character, Finn, is a house witch. That is his element. He can do anything within what he considers his home. So the kitchen, any room he's been within, so he can have this calming effect. And I really like the fact that he's a cook, because a lot of people believe the kitchen is the heart of the home. Okay, that's a common belief, and I think it's really unique that a lot of our story takes place within a kitchen and surrounds around food. Our main character is a cook, and he is considered a house witch. So I'm really intrigued by this, but there's also some overarching plot lines. I don't know if there's going to be an HEA in this because this is the first installment in what looks to be a trilogy right now. So I have no idea, but we do get to meet some other witches, and there is this unique mage versus witch thing. They don't like each other, and there is some definitely secrecy elements. I'm having a very, very good time with this story, actually. I'm currently reading it on Kindle, but if I continue enjoying it as much as I am, I definitely will be picking up the physical copies for my collection, because I'm having a great time with this one so far. I'm very, very excited to finish it and see what it's really all about and see what the big mystery is. But I feel very cozy when I'm reading it. It's a very homey mystery and a homey story. Like, it's families, they fight and then they get over it and they bicker and they get over it again. You have your father figure, you have your mother figure, you have your crazy sister, you have your jackass kids, you have your spoiled brats, you have your athletes, you have all of the stereotypical people you would find inside of a home is represented within this book, and they're all just kind of, this is their life and how they're going about doing it and dealing with it, and how it all kind of focuses around the kitchen. And I think it's really kind of cool. I'm having a very, very good time with this one so far. So I'm very anxious to finish it so I can tell you more about it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So that is what I read last week. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys all soon with another video, because I'm gonna go finish The House Witch. So talk to you guys later.